In a recent science forum, I was sharing a few pictures that I had downloaded from the internet, and one of my colleagues wanted this picture that I had used in my presentation. It's the picture of how a flame will look when there is no gravity. This is the normal picture. This is the normal flame which appears with the familiar shape in gravity, and this is how the flame will look when there is no gravity. And he needed me to send this picture to him. Now, to send this picture, I could email this picture out, and let's see in this video how we can compose emails to our friends and colleagues. So for which I need to launch a browser, and we also need to have created an email account or an email address. So if we do not have an email address, we will not be able to send emails. And if you don't have an email address right now, you should first create one and then watch this video on how to compose the email. My email service provider is Gmail from Google, and to access my email services, I go to www.gmail.com. And when I open this website, it will ask me for my username and password. My username is a unique email address, and my user ID I'm using for this demonstration is 12222 shashi at gmail.com, and I type in my password in the next screen. Of course, it doesn't display my password for my own protection. So this logging in into my email account is an important part of composing emails. Without logging in, I will not be able to compose emails. To compose an email or to write an email to my friend, in Gmail, I need to click on the big red compose button here. So I click on compose, and it opens this window here which I will be able to use to send emails. Now if I want this window to be bigger, I can click on this two-headed arrow here, and it becomes bigger and centered. Now I can click on OK, got it, and I can start composing my email. Now the first thing I want to do is attach the picture to this email. I can write an email. I can just type in, hi, please find the picture. I can write this and much more in my email while sending, and I can have a greeting, and I can sign off. And the first thing that I want to do so that I don't forget is to attach the picture to this email. And I can attach files to this email, and the way I can attach files is by clicking on this icon right here at the bottom, and the tooltip tells me that it is an attach files button. I click on that, it opens this dialog box, and I'm already on my desktop in this dialog box. I click space fire. It gives me a preview so that I know which picture I'm sending, and then I click on open. And then it gives me this progress bar telling me how much of it has been attached, and once that's gone, I know that this picture has been attached. So this picture was originally downloaded from Wikipedia, so it's Creative Commons picture, so I don't have to worry so much about the copyrights of that picture. Now that I've composed the email, I've written a few text, and I've also attached a file using the attach files button here. The other thing that the email needs to know is who it should send this email to. And this is the space right here on the top where I need to type in the name of my friend's email. And the name of my friend's email is Shashi Shashiprashant at yahoo.com. Now you may ask, can we send an email from the Gmail account to a Yahoo account? Yes, you can send an email to any email account in the world. It doesn't matter what the domain name of that email ID is. In this case, it's Yahoo. In some other case, it could be something else. But once you have the email ID, you can send it from any email service to any other email services. Now, here there is a field called subject. That's where I can type the subject for this mail from. Picture of a flame in zero gravity. I can right away click on send, and this email will go land in Shashi's inbox. However, I know that there are a few more people who would like to have a copy of this email in their inbox. They are not the main recipients, but they would like to receive a copy. How can I add that? How can I add more people? I can add it either by separating email IDs with commas. For example, shashiprashant@yahoo.com is already done, so I put a comma. The comma doesn't appear visually, but I know that I'm ready to type in the next email recipient. I'll send it to Radha. I know the email ID, and as soon as I press the comma key on my keyboard, it takes that as the email ID and asks me for more email IDs. That's one way of doing it. Another way of doing it is to use the CC and the BCC option. The CC option, I click on that, it's giving me a copy to, and we need to decide when to use this, but I can copy this to Radha. And then click on send. So this email, though it's composed just once, it will go to two different people simultaneously, mainly to Shashi and copy to Radha. Now, when Shashi receives this email, they can clearly see who else is receiving this email. In this case, Radha is the other person who is receiving this email. But let's say there is a case where I want to send it to Shashi, but I don't want Shashi to know who else has gotten this email. If I want to do that, I need to use the BCC option. The B stands for blind in this case, and instead of typing the name here, if I type it in BCC, both of them will still receive the email, but Shashi will not know who else has been copied on this email, because instead of typing the email ID here, I've typed it in the BCC section. So I could have several email IDs in the BCC section, and I could click on send, and none of them would know who else is receiving this email, except that they would know that the main person who received it and themselves. They would not have access to any of the other email IDs. This is a good option sometimes when we want to avoid the reply all option. Sometimes people click on reply all when they read a message, and you want to avoid that. We can use the BCC option to make sure that nobody else knows who else has been copied on this email. So that's the basics of composing an email. It requires a to or recipient email ID. I could optionally have a CC or a BCC. It can or may not have a subject, but I prefer to have a subject for every email, and every recipient would prefer to have a subject, and the main body of the email is this, and then any files that you want to attach. Once I'm done with these basic requirements, I can click on the blue send icon here, and then the email will be sent. So let me demonstrate that. I click on send, and it says sending, and then it says your message has been sent. all our sent messages can be viewed in the sent mail folder here. I can click here. This is the shortcut, but I can also click on this. And then I see that I have till now sent one email. I want to see how that looks. I can click on the email, and this is the email that I sent, and it also has a picture attached, so it gives me the preview of that as well. So let's go back to composing for a minute. Now let's say, let me just open this up a little bit. I know I want to write a few things. So let me start off the email by saying hi. And I also know that I want to attach file. So I click on insert. And then choose Spacefire and open it. And I haven't yet made up my mind as to who to send it to, what subject line I need to have, or what else to write in the email. I may want to take a break, or I may want to return to this email later. Will I lose all the work that I have done on this email? No, that won't happen, because let me close this window. Remember, I've not sent this email. I haven't even decided who to send it to. I just know that I need to send spacefire.jpg to many people. I've attached this, but I haven't worked on this email any further. So let me close this without sending. And now we notice something new here, which is the drafts folder. So let me click on drafts, and I notice that it says draft and no subject. Let me click on this, and I'm back to this email exactly at the same place where I left it. The picture is attached and it remains there. To, subject, hi, everything is there, but I haven't decided to send it yet. Now I can continue working on this email, and once I'm happy with it, I can click on send. If I want to do more work on this email and still don't want to send it, I can again close this. Or notice when I move the cursor to the X mark or the closing icon, it doesn't say close, it says save and close. So that's what I'm doing when I click on the X mark. Click on X and it has saved that in my drafts folder. So that's another important option we need to use while composing emails.